Welcome. My name is Ken Speakman, and I'll be your presenter today for the Transformative Relationship Mediation discussion. With me in the studio here is Cythia Brooking, who's the founder of Brooking Mediation. She's also a mentor and trainer on the Transformative Relationship Mediation course, and she's also a specialist in conflict resolution. Hello, Cythia, and how are you today?
Hello, Ken. I am fantastic. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
No worries, Cythia. Today, what we're going to be talking about, as I said before, is the relationship mediation. Now, for those who are listening to this as a podcast, I will read out what is written here. That is, relationship mediation is aimed at resolving specific issues between couples and coming up with mutually acceptable solutions that are important to either or both. Relationship mediation aims to facilitate a deeper understanding and a change in their interpersonal interactions. That says a lot, Cythia, but what is your take on it?
To probably simplify that a little bit more is, yes, it's when couples speak to each other and they start using learned patterns of communication. That can be several things. It could be, you never listen to me, or you always do that, and they're wanting to get a message across, and they find that that can often stop the process of them even being heard or having their issue explained to them. So it's teaching them that there's other ways of communication that they can use so that they can exit those roadblocks that stop them being heard. Does that sound?
That sounds very, very good, actually, because relationship mediation is not just about sorting out the issues the couples are having. It's also giving them the skills to move forward with future conflict using
Absolutely.
what they've learned. Now, I've got a little note down here in blue. A couple of statistics out of the Australian Bureau of Statistics in 2017. The first one is in 2017, 49,032 couples divorced.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It is.
And of that, 23,092 children were affected by divorce in 2017. That doesn't include, of course, any de facto relationships. That's only married and divorced. So there's a lot of conflict out there which is leading to the negative consequences of divorce, separation, parenting plans, property orders, and what have you. So that's why relationship mediation, I believe, is so important, because it can help some of these, maybe not all of them, but some of them, to not go down this road, to be able to solve it, nip it in the bud, so to speak.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why this is so important, because we actually get to teach the couples to communicate effectively before it hits the conflict cycle or the domestic violence situation where really there's just an ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. We want to get in there and get those skills taught so that it doesn't go down that road.
I liken it myself personally to like a tidal wave hitting the relationship, or a perfect storm. And when that happens, there's not much hope for the relationship. But if we can get to it before it hits, then there's a chance that we might be able to resolve it here. The course fits in with the Mediation Institute's commitment to skill development. And this slide on the screen at the moment, what we're concentrating on is the top blue ones, which is the mediation skills, which includes family group conferencing and the NMAS qualification. As you can see, NMAS is a prerequisite to the TRM. In other words, you have to be a skilled mediator to be able to do the Transformative Relationship Mediation course. Moving on, the way it's delivered, it is approximately 40 hours, and it's delivered by a combination of e-learning, which you log in, you could read the text, you can watch the videos, you can do the tests and what have you, progress your way through the course in the comfort of your home. There's also the video mediation through Zoom, where we do mentored role plays and practice sessions, so you become skilled in the practical side of relationship mediation. And that's accumulated with a role play assessment at the very end, which makes you an accredited relationship mediator. The course itself is broken into 9 modules. The first one is Introduction to Transformative Relationship Mediation, which covers the basics, a bit about what we're saying here and a bit more perhaps. The second one is Recognition Encouragement, which is to do with empathy and building empathy and how to utilise it in the mediation process. Then we do the pre-mediation intake and risk assessment, preparing couples for the mediation session. The fourth module is Transformative Relation Mediation Services, which is the actual delivery of the mediation. And as you're all skilled mediators, this is an addendum to those skills, not a replacement of. We then follow that with advanced negotiation skills. So we teach you how to negotiate and how to get people to negotiate properly within the mediation environment. We then have relationship dynamics, where we discuss the different ways that couples and people can interact with each other. We drill that down to relationship dynamics, drill down into that deeper. So we look at specific situations which may arise, which cause conflict. And then we manage the sources of relationship conflict. And the ninth and final module, of course, is the role plays and practical experience required for the assessment. Now, a little note down the bottom here. This course will give you 40 hours of CPD if you're an NMAS mediator. That's a very handy thing to realise, and give you 40 hours over your 2 years. The people who will be training in the relationship mediation course are David Chittenden, who's an NMAS mediator and a family counsellor with years and years of experience, including relationship mediations. There's Lee, who has a Master's in Conflict Management and Resolution. She's even got a university medal, which is really spectacular. And she's also an NMAS mediator. There's Cythia Brooking, who we've met here today. Her little catchphrase is supporting couples to create peaceful solutions. And yeah, that just rings so true with Cythia. And she is an NMAS mediator and FDR practitioner. And of course, myself, I'm an NMAS mediator and a FDR practitioner as well. Now, I'll let Cythia take this one on. Who is the course for? Would you like to read this so people listening on a podcast can understand it, then offer your comments, please?
Sure. Thank you, Ken. This course is for professional mediators. So in order to enroll, you must actually be a skilled mediator with NMAS accreditation, or be an accredited family dispute resolution practitioner. This course expands on the skills of facilitative mediation and gives a more supportive approach through the transformative model. So that means that we can actually encourage the couples that are in the mediation to use some of the skills that we are using to dig down and to just sort of reality check some of the ways that they're communicating and they're resolving their conflicts. This actually helps them to see it, see outside the box, so to speak. This course is designed for people who have a desire or passion to help couples to learn the skills to resolve their conflicts by participating in the mediation. These learned skills also help couples resolve future conflict in any environment. So that can be in their homes with their families, their extended families, their workplace situations, colleagues, interactions. There's often a lot of people that have that can be responding to us in a reactionary way, and we can just learn the skills to diffuse the situation. Relationship mediation helps people to unblock those communication styles that contribute to conflict by using new skills to move forward, both feeling empowered to raise their issues and be understood and acknowledged. That is the key role for relationship mediation.
I think the key too here is that relationship mediation is just that, is where a relationship exists.
Yes.
That could be a couple of partners in a business. They have a relationship.
Absolutely.
They may not live with each other or anything like that, but they may have a very close friendship. They don't want that ruined because of any misunderstandings or conflict in the way they deal with each other. It can also apply for, I think, like grandparents and their children or grandchildren, uncles, aunties, anyone else, or even perhaps with a club situation between members. It's anything where there's a relationship exists which requires to be able to find solutions to move forward. Would that be a fair statement?
Absolutely. Yes, there's many situations that this is so successfully used.
Well, you had an example I think you were telling me about before about a workplace one. Can you elaborate on that a bit, please?
Yes, it was a team leader that had come in sort of, it was not a very good situation, and she felt on the back foot because of not having enough training, and so she tended to take it out on the person underneath her, and she was really beginning to really speak to her in a derogatory manner, and that, and just giving the other person, the what you'd call the victim in the situation or whatever, the skills to be able to stand up and to be able to say, look, I don't like the way you're talking to me and treating me. Can we relook at this? And just with how the whole conflict came about, it really reset it, and now there's respect there. There's a new way of communicating with each other in the workplace. And when you're working, in an environment for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, it's really important that you be able to speak comfortably about those sort of situations and be able to get some resolve and move forward.
That's excellent. That's really, really good. So to find out more about relationship mediation, you can call Mediation Institute on 1300 781 533. I'll repeat that. 1300 781 533, or you can email office@mediationinstitute.edu.au. Thank you for coming today, Cythia. It's been a pleasure having you here.
It's
I
been
look
my
forward to
pleasure.
seeing you later.
Thank you so much. This has been awesome. And please sign up, folk.
Okay, bye.